Hello to my entrepreneurs and my corporate workers. Welcome back to my channel. So at this point, I figure you've already kind of got a gist of some of the stuff that I will be providing on this channel. Well, you don't know everything yet, but I do have some more great surprises coming and giveaways, and the more that you're interacting with me and just letting me know that you like the things I'm putting on the channel, the more I can bring things to you as well. As always, if you have suggestions or comments or anything, leave a comment or send me a message, hit me up on Instagram. So, as you know, I'm a purpose alignment consultant, and with that, one of the things I do to help entrepreneurs and workplace professionals is I help them find their voice. Sometimes in the workplace we get a little muted, as you know. I've talked about this before. Sometimes not even seen. So today I'm going to talk about just some benefits or some best practices for amplifying your voice. Some things you can do. Very simple things, but sometimes it takes a little bit of work as well. So let's dig into it. Okay, so number one is taking the initiative and demonstrating your abilities in your work. Sounds simple, right? Well, it can be a little hard. It depends on, what type of, let's say, project you're going to do. The best way to demonstrate anything you know how to do well is to dig into a project, basically. And so when it comes to maybe researching, strategizing, planning, all of that plays a part with leading something and showing that you actually know how to do it. So I would say get into a project, whether it's a school project, whether it is something at work. If you're an entrepreneur, of course, connecting and networking with other, whether it's content creators or other entrepreneurs or whatnot, working with them and showing them, how to do a certain thing. All of that helps to magnify or amplify your voice. And you're like, Mika, how is that amplifying my voice? Well, showing someone sometimes helps them to kind of see the action of you doing that thing. And so they pay more attention to you when you start really, developing whatever that project or event or whatever that is. And so they take notice. And so that's what you want. You want them to take notice. All right. Number two would be advocating for your ideas. Speaking your mind, all the while being respectful at the same time. And I have to say this because sometimes we have a lot of ideas. I mean, just coming from somewhere everywhere. And sometimes we have to really focus on that one idea that will help the team. Don't forget, we're trying to amplify your voice in the workplace or as an entrepreneur. So we have to focus on teams, staff, and all of that because we want to get recognized, right? So with that, we have to make sure, when we have this idea that we are really confident in it. Of course, after we've done the work and everything that we need to do to make sure that it happens, we have to go after the idea and really put it out there. Be confident and show that confidence that you support what you're bringing to the table. Okay. Now, a lot of times it can be really hard, especially when you don't have backing. So I would also suggest to have one or two people that you talk with them about this certain thing or task or item. Sometimes it's good to have a little bit of buy-in. And I have to say that because just coming to the table with something in a regular meeting can have people jumping all on your idea and just ultimately, kind of kicking it to the side because you really haven't did the work. And so you want to make sure that it has enough backing, that you have some people supporting you as well. Does that sound good? Sound good? Yeah, I hope you understand that because I think that's where we get lost at sometimes is having so many ideas to bring to the table because we want to sometimes show off or whatever it is that it get lost. It gets very lost in all of that. Another thing I would say with that point is body language. Body language is very important. So say for instance, if you saw me sitting up here like this, or leaning over or anything like that, that doesn't show much interest, right? Like it doesn't show someone that you're confident and that you believe in what you're putting out there. If you're advocating for your ideas and what you bring, you have to come correct with great body language as well. So all of that plays a part in this point. I hope that helps. So we're at this point now that I want you to do one thing for me, and that is subscribe and like this video, okay? Please do that for me. And not just that, share this video with others. Anybody that you know that's an entrepreneur that might need to get a little further in their business, or someone that's in the workplace. It could be a whole team, a company, organization that needs help with some of these strategies, and not just with amplifying the voice, but I also do other things with culture and employee engagement and things of that sort as well, or just speaking for whatever conference or seminar or workshop that you might have as well. So like and subscribe, and make sure you tell people about this channel. Thanks. Persistence. Why am I saying persistence? So a lot of times we get a lot of negative feedback or rejection, so it kind of sets us back, right? So in the workplace or as an entrepreneur, when we get those things, and we hear it all the time, what are you supposed to do with it? Yeah, you might fail in a certain area, but you're supposed to learn, what happened, right? Grow through it, all of that. It's the same thing with amplifying your voice in the workplace. If something doesn't pan out right and you're still feeling like, oh, nobody's listening to me, or nobody is wants to hear my ideas or suggestions, that's not necessarily true. If you failed in that certain area, just go back and reevaluate, or go back and assess what was going on. How come they didn't grab on to the idea that I had? Because sometimes it's just looking back at it. Look again, and seeing what you did wrong. It could have been how it was conveyed, possibly how it was approached. Again, we talked about body language and all of that in the previous point, right? It could have been any of those things. So when you're looking at setbacks and rejections, you have to be persistent and be consistent with getting on top of whatever that project is, or whatever that event or task is, to make sure that you are heard and that you are seen. Okay. Now, one thing that I do, and I had to look at my note right then, because I was like, what's the other thing that I do that I tell people to do all the time? And that is say affirmations. You want to know what affirmations do for you? Affirmations help to it speaks to your inner self, and it lets you know that you can do whatever it is that you're saying out your mouth, basically. And so you end up acting upon those words because you're hearing it. It's going through your ear gates, right? Because you're saying it out of your mouth, right? And so it's just like a revolving thing. It continues to do this. And so while you're saying those things, you're actually telling yourself, you got this. I can do this, So anytime you fail in any area, I suggest of you to just say, what's next? What's next? Because saying what's next or now what can also help you put yourself in that mind frame of, okay, I got to do something else now. Better, greater, revisit this, whatever it is, So I hope that helps as well. Listen, I know it's not easy. I know. Being a leader is hard. It is definitely hard work. And if you are in the workplace or as an entrepreneur, whatever level of job you have or title you have, you are a leader. And what it takes to be a leader is all those things that I just talked about with amplifying your voice and more. So it's going to be okay. A lot of times we get stuck on a one point and just like, well, I just can't do this. You're going to have to get over it. The rejections and the setbacks are going to be there. They're going to come, but you need to know how to get over those obstacles, okay? So leaders, they come across things every day. And if you want to be that leader in whatever job you're working in or as an entrepreneur, then you're going to have to do these points, and it takes practice. It takes a lot of gumption as well, and consistency, and saying your affirmations, and just being positive and knowing that you will get through it. Now, I talk about professional leadership, learning development, and all that stuff a lot. So make sure you get into some trainings. That helps a lot too, with making sure that you have what it takes to be a leader, that you have the soft skills that you need to be a leader, and all the different strategies that come along with it as well. I believe you got it. Amplifying your voice, I'm not saying that it's easy. It takes practice, like I said, but you can definitely get there. Just continue to go over some of the strategies that I talked about in this video. I have some more that's going to be coming out as well. So if you have any questions or comments, make sure you also leave them under this video. I love talking to you all. Let me know what you think of the videos. Talk soon.